See, my problem when I film is I always have to like sit on my leg or something, so I feel like I'm higher, because when I just sit like this, it's like that. But when I'm like this, I'm a little bit better. Again, I'm sorry about my same style of hair. I don't know what to do with it. I really don't. Because when I straighten it, it looks really odd on me, I feel like. It's not bad, as you guys saw in my vlog, but it's not what I would, you know, consider wearable out in public. So there's that. Hey beautifuls! So today I am giving you guys another story time video. I've actually been wanting to tell this one for quite a while, especially with all the stuff that's been going on in the LGBTQ community and in general with discrimination against race and gender and all that bullshit that's, you know, really fucked up. But I mainly wanted to tell this story because, besides the fact of why I tell some of the stories that have happened to me, because, you know, don't be me. That's my whole, you know, life motto. Don't be me! I really wanted to share it in case anyone has ever had like a teacher or an authoritative figure like treat you like shit because, you know, you're doing something that to you is okay, but to them it's like, oh my god, like the fuck. So let me just start off by saying too, I am straight, I am not bi, I'm not a lesbian, I'm not any of that, but I personally just feel like the situation to me is a big deal, but to a lot of you guys that have probably experienced discrimination at any age, you're probably gonna be like, oh, that's not anything, that's not a big deal. But to me, it was a big deal. It really, like, kind of scarred me a little bit because I was like, the fuck? Like, and it really, I feel like it was kind of the time where things were starting to change and people in general and, you know, judging people, and I don't know. I feel like also kind of set a bad example for the rest of my classmates because a few of them did see what had happened, and even later on I don't understand like what was the big deal. Even now I don't understand what was the big deal because, again, I was 8 years old when this happened. Again, I'm not going to be bashing anybody or anything like that. I just feel like that this whole situation could have been handled differently and it's wrong. I don't really know how to title this video, so sorry if it's like odd. But so back when I was in elementary school, still living here in Connecticut, I was in 2nd grade. I had 3 best friends basically, which were, of course, one was Danielle and the other 2, and there were a couple other girls that we were all really close friends with. Like, it was like the 4 of us all the time, like me, Danielle, and yeah, like it was just us. And during lunch they have your whole class sit together. We never got to really sit together at all. Either, you know, Danielle or the other girl was always in my class with me, or was both of us. We would always sit together at lunch because, you know, we had the table, it was our class table, everyone in the class sat there. So lunch was fine, everything was fine, you know, whatever. After lunch they had us all big fucking line going down to the wing of our building where all of our classrooms were, and then we would all disperse and go into our class. So this is where the story starts. Me and my best friend at the time, I don't know, we'll call her Ashley. So I'm sorry if your name's Ashley. So Ashley and I were best friends. We would always do everything together, go over each other's houses, you know, go to each other's birthday parties, talk on the phone all the time. Like, we were best friends. At this time I feel like she was more of my best friend than Danielle, but I don't know. Obviously that changed. So Ashley and I were just like walking down the lunch line, and as I've always, I don't know, at that time I'd always seen in like movies and TV shows that friends would always, you know, hold hands together, and that's just the way that it was. Like, I didn't know that it was like only meant for relationships and it was kind of weird or anything like that. I still don't think it's weird to hold hands with your best friend. Sometimes Danielle and I do, like in weird random occasions, but nothing like all the time, like, you know, in that way. I had actually grabbed her hand and we were just holding hands, you know, like la la la, like, you know, 8-year-old girls. Like, I don't know how I can describe this anymore to you guys. Just 2 8-year-old girls just, you know, holding hands, like walking down the hallway like this. Like, nothing like gross at all, nothing like horrible, nothing of the sort. I'm sorry, I itched my nose for the haters. No, seriously, my nose is itchy. We were down near the stairs because there was a staircase before we would get to our wing. So we were walking down there, and all of a sudden this teacher pulls me out of the line and she was like, "What do you think you're doing?" And I was just like, nothing. I seriously at this point did not know what the hell she was like freaked out about. So she had me go all the way to the back of the lunch line, and I walked down with everyone else. Like, she basically like split us up, which I didn't see as a big deal because we weren't really like doing anything at all. Like, I was just holding her hand, she was holding my hand, we were just, you know, walking, like kind of swinging our hands like a little bit, nothing crazy where we would get in trouble. We ended up going to our classrooms, and I remember going to sit at my desk, and I was still like, the fuck, like just thinking in my head at the time, like, what is happening right now? What is going on? Like, what? Like, I don't understand. And my 2nd grade teacher, bless her heart, Mrs. Webster, like, she's retired now, but bless her heart, she was just like, she didn't even know what the hell. So that teacher that actually had come in and told Mrs. Webster and told her what had happened, and I remember her, she was just like looking at the teacher like, what? Like, what? Like, what? She was even flabbergasted, I have to say. That recess, we didn't all go outside because it was raining or whatever, so we all stayed inside, and usually when we had indoor recess, we were allowed to go into go into different classrooms, or we were split up into different classrooms. So luckily, guess whose classroom I got to go in, you guys? Which, mind you, side note, this teacher was such a bitch. She was the bitch teacher. When you go through your grades and you always have that teacher you hope you don't fucking get, and that teacher's always a fucking bitch? That one. That's the one classroom I had to go into for indoor recess. Yeah. Great. Yay. So after everyone was, split up to different rooms, or we got to go, I don't remember exactly if we got to go pick which room we were gonna go to and go into different classrooms at our own, if we wanted to, or if we were counted off. I can't remember that part, but I remember her telling me that I needed to come into her classroom. And so I did. She's like, sit at this table. And so I sat at the table. It was this big round table at the entrance of the door. So the door was here, the table was here, and the chair, and I was sitting in it. She literally gets in my face. She's like, do you have any idea what you... I got all tongue-tied. And she was just like, do you have any idea what you were doing? That is inappropriate. You are not allowed to hold hands. That is an invasion of space. Or some fucking shit like that. And I was just like... Mind you guys, I think I've said this before, but as a child, I was very, very shy. I didn't say much. I wasn't one of those outspoken kids. I was always, shy and, don't talk to unless you talk to me and, don't call on me kind of kids. I was just, very reserved and very quiet and very shy. And for this to happen to me, I was just like, the fuck? After she yelled at me, she's like, you're gonna sit here for 5-10 minutes and think about what you did. And I was like... Now I'm like... bitch. So I ended up sitting at this table for 5-10 minutes, and I remember crying. I had my arms on the table. I was crying my eyes out. I was so fucking horrified. I was like, what the fuck is this bitch's problem? I don't know. I don't know if she thought I was trying to do something sexual with Ashley, or I was trying to do something like that. I don't know. She didn't think it was right that two girls were holding hands. Just for the hell of it. Just for the hell of it. So after that, I got up and I went and I played and whatever. But even after that, I was really kind of dumbfounded about it. I can't remember if I told my mom. I'm not sure if I did or not. But I remember it pretty vividly because that was one of the few moments as a child that I remember that really traumatized me, because and I feel like one of the reasons I have such bad anxiety, again, looking back now, I really understand some things that have happened that I'm like, oh shit, well, I can see why I'm anxious. I can see why I don't like to talk to people. I can see why I don't do things, because in school it was it wasn't terrible, but I feel like school now is much different for kids than it was when I went. And that was what, 6 years? Yeah, I know, I'm got nothing to show for it. Hi. I don't know. It just was one of those things that really scarred me, and it really got me thinking now that I'm older, wow, that is not okay. And I really wanted to tell it to any of you that are lesbian or bi or gay or transgender or anything, that you don't deserve that. If people are doing that to you, then they're fucking assholes. Fuck that. And even me, being an 8-year-old child and being told, don't hold hands, that's not appropriate.
Basically making it seem like it's wrong to hold hands with her best friend, even if she's a girl.
And just being scolded so harshly for that. I don't know. I feel like it was kind of in a sense, what if I was gay? What if I was bi? What if I was having those feelings at that age? That's discriminatory. Discriminatory. I can't fucking say that word. It's wrong. And that really made me question a lot of things about this world, and made me really traumatized to even speak to anybody. I don't know. I never liked that teacher to begin with, and the fact that she did that to me, a shy, reserved, never get in trouble, always a goody two-shoes kind of girl. Yeah, that was pretty traumatizing. And funny follow-up to it, actually, when Ween, my sister, was in 2nd grade, guess who she had for a teacher? Yeah. Her. She had her. But according to her, she was pretty nice this time around. So I don't know if she just got the stick out of her ass. I don't know what the deal was with that. When I was in school, she was a bitch and she was mean. I actually have another story. Maybe I'll just share that really quick with you guys. I have another one from when I was in 1st grade. Again, that whole situation where it's you have all the teachers, you have 3 or 4 teachers, and every year you hope you don't get that teacher. There was another one. So when I was 7, I was in this, everyone had to do chorus. It was a themed out chorus or whatever. So the when I was in kindergarten, it was Sesame Street, and then when I was in first grade, it was Animals or The Jungle or something like that. So literally every kid in my grade, like all of us, we were in chorus, we had to sing, we had to dance and do all like this weird crap, and it was like a recital thing for our parents to come and watch us, and yeah, all that kind of shit. I remember I was on the top riser, because at this time I was like one of the tallest kids in my class. Clearly that has changed. I'm 5'2", short and squishy. I'm putting that on a shirt. I was standing on the top riser with my friend, and we were, you know, it was in between songs, so like everyone was talking, whatever, and so I was talking to her, she was talking to me, we were laughing. This teacher, the teacher, that mean one, came up behind me, tapped me, and she's like, you need to stop talking. And I was just like, okay. Like, I don't know, I had a little bit of a sass in that moment. I don't know why. I was just like, I don't know. I feel like when I get around people, I get more sassy, and I'm just like, yeah, fuck you. Versus by myself, when I would just be like, oh, like, oh, okay, whatever. I don't know. At that time, I felt a little bit sassy, so I was like, okay. And then I turned around, and I kind of continued talking to my friend, like, just like, yeah, bitch, fuck you. She came around again, and she grabbed my arm, my little 7-year-old arm, and was like, if you talk again, you're coming off the riser, and you're going to sit down there. And I was like, my face was like traumatized at this point. Like I was on the verge of crying. I feel like a lot of this to you guys may not be traumatizing, but to me as a child, like this was like, fuck, like really? Like I didn't say anything, and like I could feel the tears welling up in my face, and like I was gonna start crying because I got yelled at. Like what the fuck? Again, I kind of brought that one on myself, but at the same time it was like, I feel like back then, or those particular teachers, I kind of hope they're gone now, to be honest, from the school that I went to. I also think that you shouldn't traumatize your children. I don't know. I would never do that if my kids were being really, really bad. I would just, you know, try to get their attention, be like, come here, like, let's talk, you know, like, I don't know. It's all, again, it's all different now, and the whole thing of discipline and everything is different. And being in childcare, it's like you cannot give timeouts. You can't have, like, if you guys remember when your teacher would have on the wall like those, like a stoplight, be on green if you were good, and then you have to put your name on yellow if you were bad, or you did something in red if you were terrible. That sort of thing, like you're not allowed to do that, which I completely understand. Break a child's confidence and self-esteem over time. I admit it. Like that, you know, that is good that we don't do, but sometimes I feel like timeouts should be still enforced. I don't know, because I feel like now the kids of our generation and the ones I've experienced at childcare centers have been very, very, very no. Like just no. Like it feels like they have no manners, no structure. Like not all kids, I'm not saying all kids do, but I feel like a lot of them now are much more snotty and just like bratty and like want to get what they want and that's it, and just like talk back, and the parents don't do anything about it because they used to, you know, give their child a smack in the head or, you know, whatever, and you can't do that now or it's considered abuse. I don't know. It's a whole like debate and shit like that, but I just really, again, am thankful that I did end up moving to Maine, and I did have my dad, and my mom, you know, she disciplined me when I was a child, but, you know, as I got older, you know, got back together with my stepdad, which that's a whole nother story, but I don't think I'm ever gonna share that unless with her permission. But he really like taught me, and he really straightened my ass out, like grounding, not grounding as if you cannot go out but you can still play video games and have your phone. No, complete groundation. No TV, no radio, no phone, nothing. You in your room by yourself. Grounding. Yeah, I could tell you guys some more stories about like the bad things I've done and got in trouble for when I lived in Maine, if you guys would like to hear about that. Like my stepdad was never bad. Like he never hit me. He never, you know, did any of that. He just knew a different way to like discipline me and my sister, which was great because I want to pass that to my children as well. I don't want them to grow up how this generation is, like not saying everyone is bad, but just like in general. I think a lot of you guys that are older will agree with me. There's just a lot of kids that, and teenagers now, like that are just so like, ooh, like you just want to give them a good smack, but you can't because it's abuse. And it's like, what the hell do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And, you know, parents just kind of like let them get away with things. I don't know. Maybe that's just my whole perspective. And I am 24 and, you know, been around the block a couple times, and I just see it with generations. I see it as my sister's gotten older, from elementary school to middle school to now high school. Like, the kids are just so mean, and I feel like they're a lot more cruel than when I went to school, especially with, I'm not going to mention anything, but my sister's been going through a hard time with some things in school with people, and I feel really bad for her because I never had to deal with anything to that magnitude when I was in school. So when I was in high school, so I don't know if it's a generational thing. I don't know what. Sorry for getting on this little rant, but I don't know. I feel like I should just kind of throw that in there as well. There were a couple times as a child that I was really traumatized, especially the whole thing about being discriminated against. I feel like that was sort of, looking back, is like that was definitely like something discriminatory. Fun fact about that teacher that basically like thought I was a lesbian. She ended up being the aunt of someone that I was really good friends with for years too. It's great how things come back to bite you in the ass now, don't they? But, you know, whatever. Whatever. It's in the past. But again, I just wanted to tell you guys that story mainly because if you are someone that is, you know, struggling with your identity and struggling to see who you are, and you have people full on coming out like cyberbullying and just treating you like shit and being very just making you feel very discriminated against, that is not okay. That is not okay, and it really fucking sucks that there's a lot of shitty people in our society, and you are not alone. Clearly. Same with everyone with a mental illness. Like, we're all fucking weirdos. Like, really? What is normal? What is normal? Okay? Like, what is normal? Nobody's normal. We're all unique in our own ways. So, again, don't be me, as usual. But I hope that kind of, like, opened up some of you guys' minds and your eyes about like discrimination, because especially now with everything going on in politics, which I'm not gonna get into because we don't do that here, things have to change. I think they've changed quite a bit, I will admit, but there's still, you know, some things we need to work on. So that was my little story time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and helped you out in some way, and really, again, just made you see things a little bit clearer maybe. Who would have thought that at 8 years old, a fucking teacher thought basically that I was a lesbian? That may not be the case. That may not be the case at all. Let's just be honest, but I felt very discriminated against. I felt like a weirdo. I don't know. I felt like an outcast, if that was like enough to say. Like at 8 years old, just sitting at the table by myself crying like over nothing. Nothing. I was holding my best friend's hand. Just for the hell of it. Like, what? Like, what? Fucking crazy ass shit. What can I say? But I love you guys so much. Hope you have an awesome day. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of me. And like this video if you enjoyed. And please, please, please hit the link down below in the description right at the top for my live show. I'm going live tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if I did not put this video up beforehand, then you guys can shoot me, because that's usually how it works around here. And it really sucks. And I'm sorry. Yeah, that's just the usual here. I don't know what else I could say. So please come, because I am taste testing weird peeps, mystery peeps, peeps I've never ever tried before. And we're gonna do a little Q&A. I'm gonna update you guys on what happened with that job that I just quit. And probably, I don't know, I want to touch base with the new Pink Sparkles video about why she has no friends, and I kind of agree with it, if you guys didn't see my Twitter. We'll get more into that tonight, so if you want to come and hear about all of that, then just hit the link below and hit remind, so you know when I go live. So I love you guys so much. Hope you have an awesome day. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of me, and like this video if you enjoyed and you want to see more story time videos from me about my crazy ass life, some of the craziest shit that's ever happened to me. I definitely will share it, because I want you guys to not be me and not do some things I've done, and try not to get yourself in situations I've been in, and yeah, so. But I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. And we're still going strong with these swatches here from the Glow Kit. Oh my god! I'm sorry, I can't get enough of it. I really can't. I just filmed a haul before this, so you guys will see that next week, but... And I am going to do a tutorial on the Nicole Guerrero Glow Kit, so no worries. No worries.